Negative, K. Nothing further.
911, what is your emergency?
I can't find my son. He's missing. I think someone took him.
Where did you see him last?
He was with me outside of our apartment. I was talking on the phone, and when I turned around, he was gone.
How old is he?
He's 3 years old. Oh, God, please help me.
I'm sending help right now. Have you searched the complex completely?
I'm doing that now. Justin! Justin! Oh, my God, he's in the pool. I can see him in the pool. He's face down. Somebody help me. Help me.
You can't hear them. You can't see them. They can't scream for help. Drowning is the leading cause of accidental death for children between the ages of 1 and 5. And for those who do survive, 20% will suffer with permanent neurological damage for the rest of their lives. If you think this can't happen to you and your family, think again. The number of drowning deaths per year is on the rise, and even the most vigilant parent or guardian can fall victim to this horrible tragedy. It only takes seconds for a drowning to occur, but the remorse and guilt lasts a lifetime.
Hello, I'm Sheila Johnson. This past Mother's Day, my 5-year-old grandson, Torrey Davis Jr., drowned in an apartment complex pool. Tragically, Torrey was one of 3 children, ages 5 and under, who were victims of unintentional drowning on the same weekend in our Tampa Bay area. It only takes a second to lose track of a child or children around any body of water. Each year, hundreds of children die in Florida, and many more are injured due to unintentional drowning events in homes, apartments, condos, or neighborhood pools. The Children's Board, Hillsborough Water Safety Team, and our partners encourage all of us to take action personally and as a community to reduce and eliminate these types of tragedies. Maintain constant, direct, and active supervision of children in and around pools and other bodies of water. Designate water watchers with whistles or tags worn at all times children are in and around pools. Provide children, youth, and adults with age-appropriate swim lessons. Learn and practice CPR as a first line of defense for quick response before emergency professionals arrive on the scene. CPR saves lives. Never swim alone, and encourage swim buddies or partners to watch out for each other's safety or need for assistance in the water. It's up to all of us to help keep our children safe.
I'm Kelly Paris, Executive Director of the Children's Board of Hillsborough County. The reasons we enjoy living in Tampa Bay is exactly why we have to be water smart from the start. Water safety is everyone's responsibility, whether at the beach or your neighborhood pool. Children between the ages of 1 and 5 have the highest rates of drowning. In fact, Florida is 300% higher than any other state in the nation. Fortunately, drowning is 100% preventable, with swimming supervision, barriers to water entry, and emergency preparedness. This water safety DVD is full of valuable information for you, your friends, and family, and you may even recognize some faces. Remember, water safety is key, and it's up to you and me.
We all know that water is great fun for kids, but it's also a place where safety must take priority. As Floridians, it's our responsibility to educate ourselves on the things we can do to prevent pool, spa, or outdoor water tragedies from occurring. We ask that you become aware of the signs, because the signs are there. Children are curious by nature. They like to explore. They're drawn to new things. If they can see it, they want to reach for it, to touch it, to taste it. The world is brand new to them, and they believe it's theirs for the taking. You may not realize it, But it only takes a few minutes for a child to wander away unnoticed. The best way to keep your child safe is active supervision.
Well, adult supervision around a pool is vital. It's primary. It is the number one layer of defense in protecting your child around any body of water, whether it's your swimming pool at home, a public pool, it could be in a river, you're going out canoeing, it could be at the beach. So it's not just supervision. I think a lot of times people think supervision is the kids are playing, they're having a good time, and we're here. Supervision by proximity is not supervision. So you've got to have active, within reach supervision. And then if you're handing off your child to someone else to supervise, a couple things need to happen. They need to make sure that they understand, where your child is, their ability to know how to swim, and also, do those people know how to swim that you're handing your child's safety off to as well? That's really a key component.
As Floridians, we all have a role to play in water safety. Never assume someone else is watching your child, especially around water. You need to make sure your child has active supervision at all times. Giving your child the proper water survival skills at an early age can mean the difference between life or death.
The aquatic self-rescue, we teach them if they fall in the pool to roll over and float. That's for children that are 6 months to a year. But once a child can walk, he can also learn to fall in the pool, roll over and float, figure out where he is, and then flip over and swim to safety, and combine those swimming and floating skills to cover whatever distance he needs to get himself out of the pool. As soon as a child can crawl, they can get to the water alone, and they have the coordination at that point to roll over and float. So the sooner you teach it, the easier it is for the children to learn, and then the children never remember not knowing how to handle themselves in the water, which makes panic less likely. They learn to enjoy the water because they don't have anything to be afraid of, because they know how to handle themselves in it. But if you wait till your child is 2.5 or 3, when they're cognitively much more aware of their environment, that's a little bit scary for them to try to figure it out at that point, because they know enough to know that the water's dangerous and that they have no skill. Whereas if they grow up never knowing that they don't know how to swim or can't handle themselves in the water, it just makes a very smooth transition for them. So the sooner the better. Recently there was a study done that said that 88% of children who have had formal swimming lessons are 88% less likely to drown. But even in that study, the distinction wasn't made between formal swimming instruction and aquatic self-rescue.
Your child may discover a passion for swimming with his or her first splash in the water. A passion that could last a lifetime, and you never know where it can take you.
Well, I think my passion for swimming was more instilled from my grandparents and my parents because I was so young. I mean, I was a toddler splashing around in the backyard pool, but it kind of escalated from one thing to the next. My grandfather used to lap swim at IU when Mark Spitz was training, and so he had I think a tie to the world of competitive swimming because of that, and just saw the natural water baby in me. I took it to the next level. I wanted to be more competitive. I loved winning. I set the goal of becoming an Olympic champion when I was 8 years old. My parents didn't know it was going to go in that direction. They didn't know that was going to happen when they just put me in swimming at the very beginning. But it is a great outlet for kids, and I think it's a great skill for kids to develop. And nowadays you can get swim lessons all over the place, and I'm trying to be more of an advocate of even those families that financially may not be able to afford it, that there's going to be places where they can go. So essentially, no mom, dad, grandparent, aunt, uncle gets turned away with their child to learn water safety.
Although active supervision is your best defense for the prevention of water tragedies, building a layer of protection around your home can play an important role in providing a safe and secure environment. If used properly, these safety layers can help prevent unsupervised access to areas with water.
Layers of protection create a situation where there are multiple fail-safes around a home. Having fences around pools, gates that are locked at all times, alarms on doors, as sliding glass doors or doors that are going out to the pool area. People today are affected by multiple distractions. You've got phones going off, you've got friends coming over, everything that's there to take your eyes off watching your children and making sure that they are safe at all times, especially around water. And so there are multiple layers of protection that families should use.
Make sure there's a secure barrier around your yard that prevents children from entering your pool area. Place a boundary between the pool and your child by installing a child-proof fence that blocks all exits from the house to the pool area. This fence should be at least 4 feet high and use a secure gate latch. Install alarms on all doors or entryways leading to the pool area. Add an underwater pool alarm that sounds when an object enters the water. Cover spas with a child-proof lid when not in use. Remove toys or items floating in the pool that might attract the attention of a small child. Make sure that all gate latches close completely.
Drownings are preventable 100%, and there's things that we all can do and put in place to hopefully not have another child drown here in Florida.
But it's not just pools where children can drown. You may not realize it, but the most unassuming things can be a danger to your child. A mop bucket left unattended, a toilet bowl with the lid up, and of course, any water in the bathtub. Don't let your attention wander, even for a moment. Our environment can be beautiful and hazardous at the same time. When enjoying the outdoors, there are many things that can take your attention away from your child, making it easier for them to wander off. This is why it is so important to always practice outdoor water safety.
People don't realize a lot of times when you're outdoors is water is everywhere. There are retention ponds everywhere. If you're at a family gathering, at a public park, they're usually based around lakes and rivers. And as soon as you lose concentration and don't focus on where your kids are, an emergency can happen at a split second. It's very easy to get distracted whenever you're outside around a body of water. You're socializing with your friends, you're having a drink, you're cooking, barbecue, you're doing all kinds of things that aren't paying direct and complete attention to your kids and other people that are there. So it's always your responsibility to maintain safety of your own kids. You can't rely on somebody else to do it. It's not Big Brother's responsibility. It's not Big Sister's responsibility. Ultimately, the responsibility falls to the parent themselves.
One of the biggest threats open water poses to children and adults are riptides. Riptides can be dangerous, but knowing how to escape them could save your life.
I do water rescues for Tampa Fire Rescue and have responded to a number of emergencies in the open bodies of water like Tampa Bay and the Gulf of Mexico. What people don't really realize is that there are a lot of riptides because of the changes in the topography around the open bodies of water like that. And the key thing to look for when you're looking for a riptide is an area of water that appears to be coming in to where you're at, but there's no breakwater. There's no white water where the waves would crash over because the water is actually traveling back into open water. And when that occurs, it's going to take you with it. If you are in a riptide, the first normal inclination for somebody to do is try and swim back to shore, but it's actually the last thing that you should do. Mainly is you want to stay above water and swim along the edge of the shore until you're out of the rip itself and back into normal breakwater and able to swim back to shore.
My son, when he was younger, we taught my son to swim as an infant, and I felt very comfortable with my son around water because when I was in the water with him, he could really get around. I like to call him a little fish. And I was letting him run around the pool deck. Now I was standing within 5-10 feet at the most from him, and even that distance made my wife nervous because she didn't like him out of arm's reach. So she wasn't particularly happy that he had that much range of motion. But he was running down the deck, he had a diaper on, no shirt, and he fell. And when he hit bottom first, and I can remember to this day the sound of the diaper popping. It just went pop, the noise it made. And then he fell into the water head first. And he began to sink. And here's a child that we taught to swim, but he did not react the way I thought he would react. and he floated to the bottom of the pool with his mouth open, his eyes wide open, and his arms and legs spread apart. And he just floated to the bottom of the pool. I went in and got him immediately and pulled him up. But it really had an impact on me because, to me, drowning was, I would hear a splash, I would hear a sound, I would hear somebody yell for help. In this case, it was absolutely silent. There was no splashes, and it was a matter of seconds. If I had gone to turn off the hose, if I had gone in the house to answer the telephone, if I had gone around the corner to do something with the lawn, I think my son wouldn't be here today.
The Children's Board of Hillsborough County is committed to ending youth drowning for all children. With your help, we can reduce this unnecessary loss of life in our community. Through active adult supervision and by implementing the proper water safety precautions, together we can make a difference.
As you have learned, drowning is 100% preventable. With your help, we can stop this tragedy. The Children's Board of Hillsborough County is working with many organizations to help make swimming lessons available to children in your community. Florida has the highest rate for child drowning in the nation. This is not a ranking we're proud of. We need everyone to do their part, spread the word, and make water safety a priority. The Children's Board is determined to make a difference. For more information, please go to the website at the bottom of this screen. I want to thank you for taking the time to view this video, and remember, water safety is key, and it's up to you and me.